My daughter saved $4,200 for a trip to France. My mom took it for my sister's wedding. She has time, she said. I smiled, then canceled the $31,000 venue I'd paid for. My phone buzzed at 6:14 p.m. while I was scraping mud off cleats in the garage. Dad, my daughter Emma's voice was thin. Too careful. In your room, I said. I'm coming. I walked in, and she was sitting on the edge of her bed, hoodie strings wrapped around her fingers like she was trying to tie herself to the mattress. Her eyes were red but dry. That's what got me. She'd already cried the loud part out somewhere else. Hey, I said, keeping my voice normal. What happened? She held out her phone with shaking hands. Look, it was our bank app. The teen account I opened for her when she turned 13. The one she named France in all caps. Balance, $378. I felt my mouth go dry. My brain did that stupid counting thing it does when something is wrong. $4,100 of 3 years. Every Friday night, I stared at the transaction list. Withdrawal T transfer $4,200 to $1 cashier's check. My hands went cold. Emma, I said carefully. Did you move it? She shook her head fast. No, I didn't touch it. I swear. Her lips pressed together. She tried not to fall apart again. She failed. Emma's voice cracked. Grandma took it. I blinked once. What do you mean she took it? Emma's breath started doing that hitch thing. I went to the bank after school because Mrs. Daly said the first payment for the trip is due Friday, and I wanted to be early. She wiped her face hard with her sleeve like she was mad at the tears for existing, and the teller was like, oh, this account already had a cashier's check cut yesterday. I felt my stomach drop so fast it was like missing a step on stairs. I sat on the floor because my legs stopped trusting me. Yesterday, Emma nodded, eyes huge, and I asked who did it, and she said the account has an authorized adult on file. My mom, Emma, whispered, Dad, I'm not going to get to go. That's when the sob hit her. Not cute crying, full body, quiet, ashamed, sobbing like she was trying to make herself smaller so the loss would fit. I babysat for the Hendersons all summer, she said into her hands. I didn't buy homecoming tickets. I didn't get my nails done. I didn't. I put my hand on her knee. My fingers felt numb. I'll never get to go now. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I stood up, picked up my keys, and said, get your shoes on. We're going to Grandma's. Emma's head snapped up. Dad, I'm not mad at you. I said, I'm going to ask one question, then I'm going to listen to the answer. And even as I said it, my brain was already counting again. How many times I'd let my family call it help. How many times I'd swallowed it because I didn't want drama. How many times Emma had watched me swallow it. We pulled into my mom's driveway at 7:02 p.m. The porch light was on like a stage. My mom opened the door before I knocked, smiling like we were there for dinner. Chuck, hi baby, she said to Emma. Sweet as syrup. Emma didn't move. She just stared past her like her body was trying to decide whether the house was safe. I held up my phone with the bank screen. My mom glanced at it, then back at me, still smiling. Oh, she said like I'd shown her a sale flyer. Yes, about that. That's when my daughter made a small broken sound and my mom said, perfectly calm. I borrowed it for your sister's wedding deposit. I'm Chuck. I'm 41. I coach rugby at a public high school in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I run a private training group on weekends for extra cash. Emma is 16. Smart, stubborn, the kind of kid who apologizes when other people bump into her. She got that from my side of the family. I've been trying to unteach it. Her mom and I split when Emma was 10. No big scandal, just two people who turned into roommates who hated each other. Emma lives with me full time. Her mom is in Charlotte and sees her once a month when she remembers. My mom Linda is 68, retired, church lady voice, the I'm just trying to help kind of cruelty. My sister Kelsey is 34, the golden child, the family's main character. She's getting married in June 2026 to a guy named Brent who sells commercial flooring and thinks cargo shorts are a personality trait. My mom's whole life is Kelsey's life. Kelsey's needs are emergencies. Emma's needs are nice to have. I used to think it was subtle. It wasn't. It was just normal to me. Incident 1 was Emma's 13th birthday. She wanted a small thing, a used laptop for school, nothing fancy. She'd been borrowing mine to type essays. My mom came to the party, hugged Emma, then handed Kelsey a gift bag first. Kelsey pulled out a designer purse and squealed. Emma smiled politely. That careful smile kids do when they're trying to be grateful for the air they're allowed to breathe. Later that night, Emma said quietly, "It's okay, Dad." I hated that sentence more than anything because she meant it. She meant, I already know how this works. Incident 2 was when I got promoted to head coach last fall. I was proud. Emma was proud. We went out for tacos, just us. My mom called and I stupidly answered. She said, "That's wonderful, Chuck." Then immediately, "So you can probably help with Kelsey's engagement party, right? She deserves something nice." I remember staring at Emma across the table. She was dipping a chip like she wasn't listening, but her eyes flicked up quick, checking my face. Weather report. I told my mom, "I'll see what I can do." Emma's shoulders dropped a fraction like she'd been bracing. Incident 3 was the babysitting. Emma started at 13 with the Hendersons 2 streets over. Every Friday and Saturday night, $12 an hour at first, then $15. She kept a little notebook, dates, times, payments. She'd come home smelling like microwave popcorn and toddler shampoo, count her cash, and put it in a zip envelope. When she turned 14, we opened a teen account. She made me promise to not touch it. Not even as a joke, she said. I swear I told her it's yours. She named it France because our district does a spring trip for juniors and seniors. 10 days, Paris, Lyon, a home weekend. It's the kind of thing people forget is a privilege until they see a kid work for it, like it's oxygen. My mom loved the story when it made her look like a supportive grandma. She's so responsible. She'd tell people at church. Then she'd turn to Emma and say, "Don't get your hopes too high. Things happen." That was my mom's favorite phrase. Things happen like consequences fall from the sky and not from her hands. We lived with my mom briefly 2 years ago after my rent jumped. Just 6 months. Temporary, she said. Temporary with rules. Don't make a scene. Be flexible. Family helps family. And the biggest one, Kelsey needs this right now. Emma learned to shrink in that house. She started asking permission to eat. She started saying sorry when she coughed. One night, I found her in the kitchen washing a single spoon by hand. "Why are you doing that?" I asked. She shrugged without looking up. "So Grandma doesn't say I left a mess." I remember staring at my own child, hands red from hot water, and realizing she was practicing being invisible. I told myself it was temporary. It wasn't. When I finally got us back into our own place in January, I promised Emma it would be different. "Your money is safe." I said, "Your trip is happening." And I believed it because I'd done the responsible adult thing. I'd left my mom on the account as an authorized adult, not because she needed access, because the bank lady said it's easier for minors, and Grandma can help if there's an emergency. An emergency. Apparently my sister's wedding deposit qualified. So when my mom stood in that doorway on February 2nd, 2026, smiling at my crying daughter, it all snapped into focus. This wasn't random. This was the pattern. This was the system. I kept my voice even. It took effort. It felt like holding a barbell in my throat. "Linda," I said, "did you take $4,200 out of Emma's account?" My mom's smile tightened like she was trying to keep it from slipping. "I told you," she said. "I borrowed it." Emma made a choking sound behind me. I held up my phone again without asking. My mom made a small, impatient sigh. "Chuck, don't do this in front of her." "In front of who?" I asked. "The person you stole from?" My mom's eyes flashed. There it was, the real face. "Stole is a harsh word," she said. Emma whispered. "It was mine." My mom turned that syrup voice on her. "Honey, sweetie, you're 16. You have time." Emma's hands clenched at her sides. Her fingernails were bitten down to nothing. My mom looked at me, still in control. "Your sister's wedding is once in a lifetime." I felt my teeth pressed together. My brain counted again. Once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime, I said. "Where's the money?" My mom waved a hand like it was boring. "It went toward the venue deposit. Kelsey had a deadline. Non-refundable." "Show me," I said. She blinked. "Excuse me. Show me the receipt," I said. "The cashier's check, the contract, the deposit confirmation, anything that proves where my kid's money went." My mom's nostrils flared. "I'm not being interrogated in my own home." Emma's voice broke. "I was supposed to pay my first installment on Friday." My mom didn't even look guilty. She looked annoyed. "She can go next year," she said. "Or later. France will still be there." Emma's face crumpled like she got punched. That's the moment I stopped arguing and started documenting. I pull my phone out and hit record. Not dramatic, just steady. "Say it again," I said. For clarity, my mom froze. "Don't you dare." "I'm already daring," I said. Emma whispered. "Dad, I need this," I told her softly without looking away from my mom. Not for revenge, for reality. My mom's voice went sharp. "Stop recording me." I kept it calm. "You withdrew $4,200 from Emma's account without permission. You used it for Kelsey's wedding. You're refusing to return it. Is that accurate?" My mom's mouth opened, closed. Then she went for the reframe. "Kelsey needed help," she said. "You know how stressful weddings are. And frankly, Chuck, it's not like Emma paid rent." I stared at her. "She's a child." My mom lifted her chin. "Family helps family." I nodded once. "Got it." We left. Emma didn't say a word in the car. She just stared at her knees and rubbed her thumb over the seam of her jeans like she could erase the last 5 minutes. At home, I made tea. Neither of us drank. I opened my laptop and started a folder called Emma, France, 2026. I saved screenshots of the bank transaction. I saved the original account opening paperwork. I pulled up the school trip email. Payment 1 due Friday, February 6th, 2026. $1,500. Emma sat at the kitchen table with her arms wrapped around herself. "I should have hidden it," she whispered. I hated that. I hated that she was blaming herself for trusting her grandmother. I said, "No, you did everything right." She swallowed hard. "Is there any way?" "Yeah," I said. "There's a way." I called the bank the next morning at 8:11 a.m. I said, "I need to remove an authorized adult immediately." The woman asked, "Was there fraud?" I paused. My throat felt tight. I said there was an unauthorized withdrawal from a minor's savings. She got quiet. "Okay, we can flag it, but if the authorized adult made the withdrawal..." "I know," I said. "I'm still flagging it." She told me to come in. I took Emma out of first period. We went together. Her face was pale, jaw clenched like she was holding herself together with muscle. At the bank, the manager printed the withdrawal slip. Name, Linda Harper. Method, cashier's check. The manager said gently, "Because she's authorized, it's not technically theft under our policy." Emma's eyes flicked to me. "That weather report look..." I kept my voice steady. "It can still be theft under the law." The manager didn't argue. She just slid the paper across like she'd seen this kind of family before. I asked for copies. All copies. I removed my mom from every account. I changed passwords. I put a freeze freeze on Emma's credit because if my mom can justify taking $4,200 from a kid, I don't trust the limits of her help. Then I called Kelsey. She answered on the third ring, breathless and happy. Hey, what's up? I said. Did mom give you $4,200 from Emma's babysitting money? Silence. Then, oh my God, are you seriously calling me about that? Yes, I said. Did she? Kelsey sighed like I was a waiter who brought the wrong salad dressing. It's not like Emma won't go, she said. She can literally go another time. This is my wedding. I stared at the wall above my sink. My hands felt cold again. You knew? I said. Kelsey snapped. Mom said you'd understand. She said you'd be a team player. A team player. Like my kid's dream was a league game. I said, tell me the venue name. What? She barked. Venue, I repeated. Name? Address. Who's the contact person? Kelsey laughed. No. Why? Because I'm solving the problem, I said. You're going to embarrass me, she said instantly. You're going to make it a thing. It's already a thing, I said. Emma is sitting at the kitchen table blaming herself for trusting her grandmother. Kelsey's voice went icy. Don't use your kid to manipulate me. I didn't yell. I didn't plead. I said name. She hung up. 10 seconds later, my mom called like clockwork. Chuck, she said sweetly, don't you start trouble. I stared at my laptop screen at an open email draft I hadn't sent yet. I said, what venue is it? My mom went quiet for half a beat. Then, why? I smiled even though she couldn't see it. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the smile you make when you realize someone has been playing checkers while you've been quietly holding the receipts. I said, you're right. My mom softened, satisfied. I know I am, I said. Kelsey's wedding is once in a lifetime. Yes, my mom said, warm now. Exactly. Okay, I said. Then let's treat it like it matters. And I clicked into my email because here's the part they didn't know. 3 months earlier in November 2025, I'd quietly paid $31,000 to lock in the venue. Not for my mom, not for Kelsey, for Emma. Kelsey had been crying about money. My mom was calling me daily and Emma had said one night after practice, Dad, just don't fight with Grandma, it's fine. That sentence again, it's fine. So I did what I always used to do. I fixed it behind the scenes. I told myself it was keeping the peace. Really, it was buying my way out of conflict so my kid didn't have to hear the yelling. I found the venue through Kelsey's Pinterest board. I called. I put my card down. I signed the contract under my name because the family was bad at details and I'm good at details. The contract was in a folder labeled Kelsey Venue on my desktop, and right there in plain English was the cancellation clause. Full refund minus $500 administrative fee if 120 plus days prior. It was February 3rd, 2026. We were 130-ish days out. My mom thought she had leverage. She didn't know I had the whole building. At 10:26 a.m., I sent one email. Subject line cancellation request event contract JRMH0614 body. Hello, this is Chuck Harper. I am the contract holder for the June 14th, 2026 event. I am requesting immediate cancellation per the agreement. Please confirm the refund amount and timeline. That was it. No speech, no threats, just a boundary in writing. At 10:41 a.m., the venue coordinator replied, Hi Chuck, we've received your cancellation request. Per your contract, refund will be $3,500. Please confirm the original payment method. My hands were shaking, but not from fear, from the weird clean feeling of finally stopping the bleeding. I forwarded that email to myself, printed it, and slid it into Emma's folder. Then I drove to the school and signed Emma out again. She sat in the passenger seat confused. Dad, what are we doing? We're going to make sure you go to France, I said. Her eyes filled instantly. How? I didn't answer yet. I needed to do this in the right order. We went to my attorney's office at 1:15 p.m. Not a courtroom, not drama, just a calm woman named Marisol Grant who charges $250 an hour and does not care about anyone's feelings when a minor's money is involved. She listened while Emma stared at her hands. Marisol said, Do you have proof the funds were Emma's earnings? I slid the notebook across the desk. Emma's babysitting log, dates, names, amounts. I slid printed Venmo screenshots from parents who paid electronically. I slid the bank statement showing deposits over 3 years. I slid the withdrawal slip with Linda's name. Marisol nodded once. Okay, Emma whispered. Am I in trouble? Marisol leaned forward, voice gentle. No, honey, you're the victim. Emma's throat bobbed. She blinked fast. That word victim hit her like it had weight. Marisol looked at me. You have 2 paths, civil demand letter or criminal report. I thought about my mom's face, the ease, the entitlement. I said, demand letter first, then report if needed. Marisol wrote 1 page that did more than any family argument ever had. Return $4,200 within 72 hours, or we will pursue civil remedies and file a theft report regarding unauthorized conversion of a minor's funds. We printed 2 copies. I drove straight to my mom's house. Emma stayed in the car. She didn't ask to come in. She was done being close enough to be touched by it. My mom opened the door with that same practice smile. Then she saw the paper in my hand. What is that? She snapped. I handed it to her. A deadline. She scanned it, and for the first time all week, her face changed. Not guilt, panic. You wouldn't, she said, voice tight. I already did, I said. My mom's eyes narrowed. This is over a trip. I kept my voice calm. This is over you taking money from my child. She took a step forward, lowering her voice like she was trying to pull me back into the old rules. Chuck, she hissed. Don't you ruin your sister's wedding. I smiled real slow. You're right, I said. My mom's shoulders eased like she thought she'd won. Kelsey's wedding is once in a lifetime, I continued. My mom nodded smug. Yes, so she should be able to afford it without stealing from a teenager, I said. Her face went blank. What did you do? I pulled out my phone, opened the email thread, and held it up. My mom's eyes flicked over the words. Cancellation confirmed. Refund $3,500. Her mouth opened like she was going to yell. Then she remembered she hates scenes, so she whispered, furious. You paid for the venue? I said. Yes. You had no right, she spat. I nodded. You're correct. Her breathing went fast. You can't do that. Kelsey will be humiliated. I held my gaze steady. Emma was sobbing in my kitchen. My mom's eyes flashed. She's 16. She has time and you're 68. I said, you have enough time to learn boundaries. She made a sound like she'd been slapped. Then her phone started ringing inside the house. Over and over. That frantic, panicked ringtone sound that tells you someone else just found out. My mom looked past me like she could me away. Fix it, she said, voice shaking now. Call them. Tell them it was a mistake. I said one sentence. Clean. Final. I'm not available to fund a wedding built on stealing from my kid. I turned and walked back to the car. Emma looked up at me. Her eyes searched my face. Weather report. I handed her my phone. She read the email. Her hand flew to her mouth. Dad, she whispered. You paid that. I did, I said, and I canceled it. Her eyes spilled over. Not the broken sobs from last night. Different tears. The kind that come from a pressure valve finally opening. I don't want you to fight with them, she said, still trained to keep the peace. I put my hand on the steering wheel. Steady. I'm not fighting. I'm choosing. My phone lit up like a slot machine. Kelsey, what did you do? Kelsey, call me now. Mom, you are destroying this family. Dad, Chuck, please. I didn't answer. I opened the family group chat and I wrote one message. Mom took $4,200 from Emma's account without permission. I canceled the venue contract I paid for. Emma's money will be returned within 72 hours, or our attorney will file. Do not contact Emma. Send. Then I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. The first piece I noticed was small. 2 nights later, Emma sat at the table doing homework and hummed under her breath like she used to when she was little. Not loud, just enough to exist. On Thursday at 9:03 a.m., my mom's bank transfer hit Emma's account. For one $200 transfer, no apology message, just money shoved back like a chore. Emma stared at the screen, then looked at me. So, I can pay the school today, I said. We paid the first installment together at the school office. Emma handed over the confirmation like it was fragile. Mrs. Dalyelli, the French teacher, smiled. You're all set, Emma. Emma walked out of the office and exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for a week. In the car, she said quietly, I thought you were going to tell me to just accept it. That sentence hit me harder than my mom's yelling. I gripped the wheel. I'm sorry you ever thought that was possible. A week after the money returned, my mom showed up at my house with a cake. A literal cake. White frosting, pink flowers, the kind of thing that looks like forgiveness if you don't taste it. I opened the door. Emma stayed in the hallway behind me, half hidden. My mom forced a smile. I brought dessert. I didn't step aside. We're not doing this. My mom's eyes flicked to Emma and her voice went soft. Honey, Grandma made a mistake. Emma didn't move. She didn't smile. She didn't shrink either. She just said very quietly, you didn't ask. My mom's face tightened. I said it was a mistake. Emma nodded once. A mistake is spilling coffee. You chose. I felt my throat burn. Pride and grief at the same time. My mom turned back to me, switching tactics. So that's it. You're cutting us off. I kept it calm. You don't have access to Emma's money. You don't have access to Emma's life without trust. And trust isn't a family right. My mom's eyes went wet, but I didn't mistake it for remorse. My mom cries when she loses control. You're punishing everyone, she whispered. I said, I'm protecting my child. She held the cake out again like it was a peace treaty. I didn't take it, I said. You can leave it on the porch if you want, but you're not coming in. My mom's jaw clenched. Kelsey had to find a new venue. I know, I said. She's devastated. My mom hissed. Emma's voice floated from behind me. Steady now. So was I. My mom looked like she wanted to argue with a teenager and remembered how it makes her look. So she did the thing she always does when she can't win. She turned it into a tragedy starring herself. I never thought my own son would do this to me, she said. I didn't correct her. I didn't justify. I didn't explain. I said one sentence and held the line. I'm not available for that. My mom left the cake on the porch anyway. We threw it away. Not dramatically, just into the trash like it was what it was. Sugar used as leverage. Over the next month, the family tried one last rotation of tactics. My dad called inside a lot. Kelsey texted long paragraphs about stress and you don't understand what weddings cost. My mom sent a photo of me as a kid with the caption, remember family? I didn't respond to any of it. Emma went back to babysitting on weekends, but now she didn't hoard it in fear. We opened a new account at a different bank, only her name and mine. And for the first time in a long time, my daughter stopped apologizing for wanting something. In April, she came into the kitchen with a printed packing list for France and said like it was normal and allowed, Dad, can you help me find a power adapter? I smiled. A real one? Yeah. I said, I've got you. The moral is simple, and I learned it late. If someone can steal from your child and still call themselves family, then what they really mean is access. access, and access isn't love. Access is earned. My boundary is still in place. My mom is not on any account, not on any school form, not on any emergency contact list, and if she ever asks why again, my answer won't change. Love doesn't require my daughter to pay for it. Lessons learned. Protect your kids first. Family doesn't mean free access to steal. Keep records of everything. Don't let guilt control you. Real love doesn't require your child to pay for it. Sometimes the kindest thing is a firm boundary. Trust is earned, not